What is up, world? What's up? What's up? I'm Coach Prince, or Train Like Prince. We got Ange Fit, we got Scotty the Body, and you are tuned in for the Elevate the World podcast. What episode? What 34? Episode 300.
35.
35.
Ooh.
300.
Nah, we're getting up there. It's so many episodes now. I was just scrolling through all of our content a few days ago, and I think it's awesome that we've been rocking together this long, and we're gonna keep on putting it out there for y'all. So thank y'all for tuning in. Today we're gonna be talking about the concept of burning out, and just like we're gonna ask some questions around that. I'll get into that in a second. Before I get too carried away, go ahead and bring us in with that quote, please, Ange.
Okay. So this is from Michael Gunger, who I believe I did some research, an American songwriter, producer. So this quote is, burnout is what happens when you try to avoid being human for too long.
Mm, I I mean, I totally agree with that. I was just listening to something about burning out, and that was one of the things where that came up. Uh, do y'all follow Gary Vee at all?
Yes,
He was talking about one of the reasons why people burn out is because of lack of self-awareness.
absolutely. 100%. Yep.
Yeah, I
That's
think,
what it all
yeah.
comes down to. Absolutely agree with that so much. I mean, we're not aware of what we're doing to ourselves. We're not aware of our surroundings.
Mhm.
We're not aware of what is happening that is impacting us. We brush it off, or we turn our head, or we don't think it's affecting us. And we
Hmm.
are human. So this quote falls in line right with that, because when you think you are above everything, oh, that's not going to bother me. Oh, I can do that. I don't need to stop. I don't need to rest. I can. No, you are no different. You are not a robot. I always
Hey,
joke and say, this tattoo on the back of my neck is not where I plug myself in at night. I mean, we're
Yeah.
all we're all human.
I wish it was that easy to charge up though.
man, dude, and like if you,
Ah,
because even robots got to charge, but imagine like you could plug yourself up and you can still be functioning while like you charge it. Yeah, man, we could get deep in that because I like to think about stuff like that.
gosh, you guys are too young. If anyone's watching this, you guys are too young to remember the show Small World, where they created Vicky. She was a robot, but she looked just like a normal kid.
Um,
And she would go
no, I
into this
don't.
little case and charge in, plug in at night.
Hmm.
Yeah, I need that because these days I haven't been able to keep a charge. But
At least a
hey,
little
so
extra
look,
recovery, you know?
yeah, it's a little hurt, spark it up.
Hmm.
Okay, so mention that about Gary Vee leads into the first question about, okay, so why do you think we burn out? And I mean, I definitely agree with what Gary Vee said as far as like lack of self-awareness being one thing. I agree with Angie's quote of just forgetting that you're a human being and not acknowledging that. It's so many reasons trying to carry too much. I think that like even lack of self-care creates burnout. And I know that like, or at least I strongly feel that like in our society, in American society, we are so much on the hustle and on the boat of grinding to where like rest and recovery is almost frowned upon. You know what I mean? And that even if you do think about or mention the concept of burning out, like if you think you are burning out, you kind of feel like you're wrong for potentially burning out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And uh like when we were texting, I mentioned like this, like wanted to talk about this topic just because I kind of felt like that's where I was at right now. And it's the first time where I've like honestly wanted to like assess it and talk about it. I feel like I've reached that point before back in 2018, 2019. And actually I was working out 7 days a week. I was working 7 days a week. I was going off of 4 hours of sleep every day, and I tried to sustain that for all of 2019. And by about March, let's say like March 17th, I think I got really sick, and like my body like made me take a week off from work. Like I couldn't
Hmm.
couldn't do anything. I was sick. I couldn't really be around people because I didn't want to get other people sick, and I just felt like crap. And I think like the flame just completely like just flickered out. You know what I mean? So there's so many reasons why I think people burn out, but my reasons for sure would be just like feeling like you're a superhuman, not taking that time for self, and just going. Like it's inevitable. It's
No,
inevitable.
100%. No, I feel you because I definitely this summer I've definitely been burnt out. I think beginning of the year I was like, once I was burnt out from 75 hard, which is crazy because you're doing 2 workouts a day. I never felt burnt out from that though. Maybe because like I was doing like all the right things, but I feel like this summer I hit it, and I definitely experienced being burnt out like several times, especially from the lack of sleep. So I know what you feel with that.
Hmm. Yeah, well, that's my answer to that question. Who's next? I want to hear from y'all because I feel like y'all got some good answers for that too.
Scotty, is it me? Who is it?
I think
I'll
I think it's
go.
Scotty. It doesn't matter.
Scotty.
Yeah.
Scotty, you go.
So yeah, we're like, why are we burnt out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
why do you think we burn out, man?
it's definitely because we try to do too much. Like sometimes we to invest ourselves into other people, and the podcast we talked about,
Hmm.
like our energy, like where we put our energy, like we're giving out so much energy, we're not thinking about recharging, right? We're not thinking about putting that plug in the back of our neck and recovering. You know what I mean? Like we feel like we have to get so much done in that day, or we have to do so much in that week, where sometimes like we're just not planning well enough and you kind of cram things in. I know for a fact, like this summer, it's been, I think, a combination of work and my workouts. Like I was working out at least 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, and I wasn't giving myself any time off. And it got to a point where my mind wasn't burnt out. It was like my body, like legit felt like it like was shutting down. Like I like even like with a good night's sleep, I was still feeling tired. It was just like that's how you know too, is like when when you actually get like more sleep than you normally do, and like you still feel like crap. Like you feel like you
Dude.
can't get through a workout. You kind of like feel like irritated like super quick. So I think it's just definitely like just giving too much to others, and like you said, like not focusing or not being aware of yourself enough.
Completely agree with that. Completely agree with that. I felt the same way lately, where I was like, even on the nights where I've gotten more than enough sleep, I still wake up feeling like crap or like drained. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's hard. Like it's different for everybody too. Like with what we do as trainers, like we're on our feet so much.
Hmm.
Like I know like not everyone has like fitness trackers or anything like that, but like my Whoop, like I'm like my average heart or calories burned is like 3,700 now, and it's just like I'm just like always moving. I'm always going, and like people are like, oh well, you only work for like a couple hours a day, and like yeah, but like those couple hours a day, like I'm literally giving like everything. I'm giving
Man.
energy, like, and like just it's very taxing. Like people just don't think that sometimes. Like, well, I work from like 9 to 5, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, like you were still doing what you had to do, but like some of the motions you do are just so repetitive. Like you don't really have to
Mhm.
engage with people all the time. You don't have to give like so much and be on. Like you can go through a 9 to 5 job sometimes, but if you're just working on your laptop or a computer and just go through the motions, you know what I mean? But like every day is a different conversation, like a different vibe, like a different like how you feel, like how you start that morning off. Like it all adds up.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I do about 22,000 steps a day, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
easily. So I feel it. Yeah.
I don't track my steps.
I don't track my steps anymore. I know I've done like 20,000
Oh
like
yeah.
easy, but I
Easily.
know I'm probably well over that right now.
Right. Right.
All right, and what you got?
All right. Well, I have a list,
I know that's
but
what's like. I can't wait to hear it.
ironically, when you sent over that this is something we were going to talk about today, this is the book I'm reading.
Burnout.
So we are jiving. Our energy is in sync totally. So Burnout, The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle, Emily Nagoski, Nagoski. I highly recommend getting this book. So why do we burn out? Scotty, like you right there, if you have a profession that you work with people and you need to be mindful 24/7, like constantly when you're with people, you do give more because you're now working on a physical level, but you're also on an emotional level. So it's different than somebody sitting at a computer for 8 hours like this. Like it's just different. Not to say that anyone's work is more or less important. That's not that's not what I'm saying. It's different. You give so much energy when you're on. Okay, which goes back to why do we burn out? We don't say no enough to things. We overplan. Okay, we prioritize others over ourselves too much. There's a time and place to prioritize others over us, but if you're constantly doing that, that's going to cause burnout. You're people pleasing all the time. That's going to cause burnout. You have unrealistic expectations of what I can get done. Here's a perfect example. My daughter has a soccer game 10 to 11. Then at 12, we have to be at a birthday party. And then I'm going out to dinner with friends at 5. And then I need to go to bed early because I have to get up because I have to be somewhere at 7 a.m. Like if you're constantly doing that, that's really an unrealistic expectation of you trying to get everything in. And then everything just kind of falls, your self-care, as we call it, goes to the wayside. Okay. So another thing is not accepting yourself, loving yourself, or accepting yourself physically, like who you are. So burnout can be caused by you constantly worried about losing weight. Burnout can be caused about you constantly trying to, you're constantly stressed about the way that you look, or you're comparing yourself to people. Like social media comparisons can cause burnout. And people don't realize that for sure. And what this book has taught me is one of the most important thing is a lot of people burn out because they're not completing the stress cycle. Because we're not going to realistically get rid of stress, right? This is going to happen or this is going to happen. And if we don't, it's like turning your car off at night. If you left your car running all night, you never turned your car off when you weren't in it, you're going to run out of gas, right? So completing the stress cycle is like turning your car off. Okay. And how do we complete the stress cycle? Well, first off, read this book. But exercise completes the stress cycle. Crying, getting emotional, crying, conversation. Yes. Hugging someone for 20 seconds completes the stress cycle. So that's the joke in our house. Like, it's like hug for 20 seconds. Let's complete the stress cycle.
Yo, I agree with that. Like this time only lasts for so long, but after a long day, like holding the little baby.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes, you're completing the stress cycle. Having body dysmorphia creates burnout, which goes back to my point. That's the chapter that I'm in right now. They call it, they don't call it body dysmorphia. They call it the bikini. They call it the bikini industrial complex, where they talk about how people and social media and everything are gaslighting you by saying you have to women. This book is particularly based on women and scientific research. Okay. I highly recommend men read it though too, but you're constantly being gaslighted like, oh, you have to look this way. Oh, you don't look this way. You don't, dress this way. And that creates constant stress in the body. So those are all my reasons. And one thing that the book talks about real quick is self-care does not complete the stress cycle. Interesting, right? So
Yeah. You think
relaxing,
so?
right? You would think that massages and Epsom salt baths and we're going to relax. That does not complete the stress cycle. It's all good things that we need to do and that we should be doing, sleep and all to take care of ourselves.
Mhm.
But we have to complete the stress cycle before we get good sleep. So very interesting. A peace of mind is the best sleeping pill. So think about that. Peace of mind is the best sleeping pill. So if you're stressed about something that's on your mind 24/7, you're not going to sleep well. So try to complete that stress cycle, whether it's hugging someone, exercise, talking to that person, resolving the issue, getting it off your mind, writing it down, like completing that stress cycle before you go to sleep is so important.
Wow. I think both of y'all had very, very, very good points. And I agree with everything y'all said. Definitely, I think that's big too. Like you said, a peace of mind, because it's like it's one thing to be like, okay, I went to bed at this time and this and that, and to get enough sleep, but the sleep was not good quality. Like you couldn't really sleep because like you had a load on you the entire time anyway. So
Right.
yeah.
We always do this thing in our house that I work with this with Reese. If her mind's going, or like she's like, I can't fall asleep. I'm like, well, whether it's homework or maybe there's drama with, someone from school or whatever that it is, or I'm not sure, young people, their minds go, 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 right? Just like us, but in a different way. We always do like almost like a meditation where we talk about the hamster wheel. So I
Mm.
have her picture the hamster wheel in her head, and I say, all right, get the hamster off the wheel and put it in its little plastic, the little plastic houses that the hamsters go
Mhm.
Yeah.
in. So I say, what color's your hamster house? Yellow, yellow plastic. And I'm like, okay, now get your hamster off the wheel and put the hamster in the little house. Got to go to sleep. It can get back on the wheel in the morning. So like some meditation type mindful thinking
Like that.
of making
That's
the
good.
making that brain relax. You could even go as far as having that hamster in the wheel, the hamster stops, picks up that problem, takes it in the house with it, and the problem can't come back out until the morning.
Mm.
So play with it and kind of, you just got to say hamster wheel, relax, get in your little
Mhm.
house.
Put it to bed. No, that's actually I got a mental picture. I love hamsters. I would still get a hamster as a pet.
Oh my gosh. So
Oh,
I had this friend who had a hamster and they couldn't find it. This is really a gross story. So they couldn't find the hamster and they were moving all the furniture
No,
to
no.
find the hamster, and they moved the dresser and the hamster
oh
found the
no.
dresser.
Oh my god.
Poor little ham.
Don't lose your hamster. That's
Don't, yeah,
the
no,
if
seriously.
you get nothing out of this podcast, don't lose your hamster.
If you got a hamster, if you think about getting a hamster, do a whole
Don't
podcast on
don't
hamsters.
get a hamster.
Don't get a hamster.
I'm gonna get a hamster.
Yeah.
Hey, so look, question number two. Because I always think about this, man, and it's does burning out mean that you need to like stop what you're doing, like or like just quit it forever? Because like for me, I'm big on like purpose and like I want to like make sure what I'm doing is meaningful and make sure I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing. Like, am I burning out because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing? That type of thing. Hey, Hidden. Um, but like like am I am I like not supposed to be doing it? And like that's my question. Like, do you think like if you're burning out or you burnt out, do you think like okay, you need to just like leave that alone? You need to stop that. You need to switch lanes. You need to like reconfigure your life. And my answer to that is like at first I was questioning like okay shoot like am I supposed to be in fitness? Like am I just in the wrong industry? I'm in the wrong realm. Should I be doing something else? Am I out of purpose? You know what I mean? Like I definitely think about those things, but then I think about like, okay, what are these correlations like? Because I love fitness and I love helping people. maybe is it where or how I'm helping people? You know what I mean? Or sometimes it's even like, okay, is it like certain people? Is it this demographic? Like you kind of got to scale like who you're around, or just certain things. But I don't always feel like the answer is to stop. Like stop what you're doing forever. I feel like sometimes it is, but I also feel like, okay, like maybe we need to think about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how you're doing and who you're doing it with. I feel like that plays a big role in answering the questions like, okay, I'm burnt out. Should I give this up? That type of thing. Because for me, I always bring it back around like, am I operating in purpose? Because I feel like when you operate in purpose, you can't go wrong, but you still when in purpose there still is like a battle or you know what I mean, like you still got to fight. You don't just I feel like you don't just fall in the purpose and then it's all peachy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I feel like it's definitely you have to like kind of like reevaluate and kind of just like reflect on like maybe what is causing you to burn out. Basically seeing like, all right, cool. You don't have to quit whatever you're doing. Maybe just dial it back a little bit. Maybe instead of doing it like every day, like maybe do it like every other day, or maybe give yourself a break for 2 days, or like something like that. Like obviously, like with work, you want to make sure you don't want to have too much break in between that or your workouts, because you want to keep that momentum going. Like we talked about that one podcast, like keeping that ball rolling. But like you have to make sure you're giving your time to like process things as well. And like when I was feeling run down, like I stopped, but it's not like I had to stop it forever. Like I didn't work out for maybe 4 straight days, which is like a lot for me. But I'm
Me
still
too.
working. So like I was still like active, like in like moving around. You know what I mean? So and then like I got right back on it, and then like I eased myself back into it, or I prioritize my sleep a little bit more. Maybe like realize like, all right, cool. Like I haven't done this in the past 2 weeks, and then you can incorporate some kind of like recovery, or you can incorporate some kind of like meditation or something to kind of like bring you back and like get back from it. But I think it really takes like an evaluation of like, how did you get there? Like what brought you to getting burnt out?
Yeah.
But I would never say to quit like whatever you're doing. Like maybe if there's something that's like toxic, maybe something toxic in your life, and that's causing, like maybe if you're drinking every night, or if you're like not eating the right food, like you're eating like shit food, or you're drinking like a soda every day, or like something like that. Like if you like notice like maybe like, but that brings me back to like evaluating like what caused that. You know what I mean? Then you
Yeah.
can like cut those things out.
Yeah. I think like, because even like I was reading like some people can like feel burnt out in their relationships with people,
Mm-hmm.
certain things like that. And I mean, that's a whole deep level. Like I feel like, yeah, when it's like you bringing up toxic, when you brought that up, or like, that person that you're with, or you always seem to do this with this person, maybe it might be time to like kind of like, grab the scissors and cut that, or have like that reevaluation, like you said too, when it comes to relationships. When you brought up like if something's toxic, that made me think about that.
All
All right,
right.
Ange.
All right. Well, I definitely agree with the reevaluate 100%, because first off, look at your goals. Is this particular thing that you're burned out from, is it in alignment with what you want to accomplish? Does it
Yeah, let me
align with
write
who
that
you
down.
are? Does it align with who you are, your true authentic self? Does it align with that? So if the answer is yes, then just like Scotty said, you have to reevaluate what's going on around you, reevaluate your self routines, your self awareness, reevaluate what you are doing. You have to look at that. And it's not a lot of times, it's most of the time, it's not what someone's doing, what someone else is doing. It's what we're doing or not doing. It's on me if I let that person stress me out. It's
Yeah.
on me if I keep saying yes, 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 and that person doesn't appreciate what I'm saying. I'm putting them before me too much. So
Mhm.
I turn, call it the selfie stick, like turn that around
Hmm.
and take a look at yourself and what you're doing. So no, I don't think you need to give it up, but I do 100% agree with the reevaluation of, is it aligned with my authentic self? Is it in line with my goals? If it is, yes, I need to reevaluate because I want to keep doing this. If the answer's no, ditch it. So many
Yeah.
people think because we are taught more is better. How many businesses can you own? How many of this can you have? How much of this
Mhm.
can you do? And you're almost frowned upon, not almost, you're frowned upon if you take a step back and you're like, hey, I'm good. I have what I need.
I
I
changed my
like what
mind.
I have. I changed my mind. This isn't working for me. It's like we are, this expectation is, again, unrealistic expectations, whether we set them ourselves or we take on someone's. Like,
Hmm.
it is okay to say no. It is okay to stop the thing. It is okay to move on from the thing. It is okay not to invest time in the thing, whatever the thing is. If you don't want to do it anymore, that is fine. But we are taught that we need to do it because we are supposed to pack our day full of everything. Think about if I said to somebody, oh, every day I take a 45-minute nap. What do you think the most response is? Oh, must be nice to be able to take a 45-minute
Right.
nap. Like,
Hating.
oh, yeah. What why is she not working? Why is she not working? Like, what's wrong with her? Like, when, you know what? They don't know. Maybe my work is done. Maybe I made what I wanted to make that day. Maybe I had the schedule I wanted to have that day. Too many people put all that on us and we just have to push it away. So I'm jumping the track here, but coming back, the short answer is what Scotty said, reevaluate.
Nah,
Go,
definitely
go ahead.
reevaluate for sure.
Love
Nah,
it.
for
Bring it back.
sure.
Bring it back.
I feel passionate.
Yeah. No,
Let them
I
know.
felt all of that. Yeah, I felt all of that for sure. But I definitely, like, in our society and just with even with people, it's like it's almost frowned upon to be like, you know what, hey, like, actually this ain't for me. I changed my mind.
Yeah,
Like,
you're weak. If you can't handle it, you're weak. Like,
yeah,
no.
changed my mind, man.
Yeah, we all got different shit going on too. Like there's so much more going on than like what people see, and like you can't be judging anyone for like what's going on, like what they're going through.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. No, my wife actually was she gave me a really good example of that. Like when it was like with Hayden, my daughter just came and hugged me. She's like, hey, actually, I don't want that anymore. And I was like, Hayden, you can't be doing that. She was like, no, like you can change your mind. We need to like show her and let her understand, like, no, it's okay to change your mind because like she's like, you got to understand that this can be infectious to some other area in life, and this may be something that she needs to understand years from now. So she can change her mind
Yes.
about that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a very
yeah.
good example for parents out there. That is a
Hmm.
great example because if you're constantly yelling at your child because they change their mind, I mean, you're right. They're going to be scared or think that something's wrong if they do change their mind. And it might
Hmm.
not be the difference between, oh, I ordered chocolate, now I want vanilla ice cream. It could be something serious.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
That part exactly.
Okay. So right now, I made mac and cheese, but no, they want nuggets now. Okay, move on. That's a small example, but that small example is going to lead to bigger things.
Hmm. Straight up.
And parents more than ever need to be more aware and concerned about that. And that the way these little things are lessons in the bigger picture.
Mhm.
But that's
Yeah.
a whole nother podcast. Moving on.
Right. I was about to piggyback off that, but I was like, no, we got other questions. But
Oh,
straight up,
God.
no,
Right.
for real though, for real. It always gets deep with one question or another.
I know.
All right, man. What are some indicators that of burning out or that you're burnt out? Shoot, I'm gonna give you a
so
couple
many.
of right. I'll give you a couple of mine, and for me, it's like like one of the things was like what Scotty mentioned, like you got a full night's rest, but you feel tired. Or like you go and do something and you feel like, oh my gosh, man, like I feel like so drained from that. And that wasn't even that much. Like you easily irritated. You start to question, like for me, I started to question like my purpose because I didn't feel as creative in this area anymore. I felt sort of irritated. And I just kind of just felt like I didn't feel that spark. You know what I mean? With fitness, and those are just a few. Just like of like feeling like, okay, shoot, this like that, like when the lights on your dashboard are blinking for your car, like you check engine lights
Right.
on. All those
Ooh,
like
yeah.
those indicators, like for me it was definitely feeling like, what, like I was like, dang, I used to do this, and when I got done doing it, I would feel even more energized. I would feel like this gave me energy, and now I'm feeling like I feel so drained, like what I mean, like from the same thing now, so stuff like that. Those are just a few of my indicators right there, and some of the most recent ones, you know what I mean, to where like I like the biggest one is like the sleep thing, right? But like, okay, man, I got a full night's rest and I feel like just hit, and I feel drained from this. I'm irritated more easily now, and now I'm questioning my purpose because I don't feel as creative with it.
Mhm.
So yeah, those are a couple of mine. And what you got, Scotty?
Um, mine's like mine are like kind of the same. Like I'll get like cravings. Like I'll just like want to snack on like shit food and just like candy and stuff like that. Like that's how I know. Like sometimes when I really feel like I'm just like just want to eat like whatever. I get like my neck. This is like gonna sound strange. Maybe I don't know, but like right like up like the center of my neck, like behind, like it just feels like it gets tired. Like I could just feel like my neck is just like sore from something.
It's not the beard pulling it down.
Yeah,
No.
man, you got to de-densify that beard, man.
You gotta straighten that beard. What exercise
Right.
are you doing for the beard? Which, by the way, is looking very sleek.
Yeah,
today.
It's smooth today, man. I'm telling you, bro. My wife even said, she's like, you sleeping on that beard, bro. Like what you could like the type of mark, like your beard is like a trademark in itself, bro.
Yeah, I'll figure something out one day.
I know.
Anyway, this ain't about Scotty's beard right now, but
We'll come up with a business plan later, Scotty, because I already have the
All right.
T-shirt in my head. I have the content in my head. I'm just going to be your manager. I don't want to be on we need to be your manager because I got ideas.
I like it. But no, I get like a weird like pain in my neck where I'm like constantly trying to stretch it and crack it, and it's just like it's usually when I have like my 5 a.m. days and just like I'm nonstop moving, and it's like almost like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I've been up for like however long. I'm just like, but just because that's like I don't know, it's just weird. So like that's like a sign for me when I'm starting to feel burnt out. And then obviously like my whole like when I get like fatigue, like when my body feels fatigue, like physically, like that's when I know I'm getting burnt out. Or if like I can't talk straight anyway, so that's no different. But basically when I like words, I get dyslexic sometimes, and like when I get when it's real bad, when every other like sentence is like something with some form of dyslexia, like that's when I know like my brain's like kind of fried. Like I just like, all right, I need to go to sleep, or I just need to stop talking. Like, that's basically it for me. Like that's how like I know when I'm getting burnt out.
Yeah, those are good indicators, man. Another one for me is like starting to feel sick, or everything feels heavy.
Oh, yeah,
like
sick.
I can't demo exercises at work. I'm just like, bro, it's so hard trying to show you how to do this exercise right now. You know what I mean? Like,
yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Well, when I get sick, like at least like with an infection, like my lymph nodes swell up like right behind my ear. So like there's been times where like I know I'm about to like feel real run down because I have some sort of like infection from being sick, and like I remember it happened in college one day, or it was like right after college, and my lymph nodes, like they're like legit bumps. Like I thought like I was growing
They look like
gills
testicles.
or something behind my ear one day, and I was like, "What is going on? Like, what is this?" And like they're sensitive, and like when that happens, that's when I know I'm really like when I'm about to be down for the count.
Oh man. I know, Scotty, like that happens to me too. I get that same thing right
Mm-hmm.
here, right here.
I know.
Check that neck.
Feel like
Gotta check
I
that
feel
neck.
like I'm like evolving into something. Like it's legit. It's like something's growing out of my head. It's like it's gnarly.
You guys literally touched on everything. I mean, triggered by things you would have patience with, the healthy habits that used to be on autopilot seem like a chore, the trouble sleeping, the things you once enjoyed are no longer fun to do. You feel like you can't take on anymore. You don't feel creative, Prince, because your confidence is down. Like it's those things, the confidence, lack in confidence, low confidence, that's a big one. For me personally, I have to really think about this for me because when I'm burnt out, it's almost, you know what, this is what I think I do. I think I hibernate. Okay. I think I stay inside, meaning I'm outside all the time. You guys know, you catch me at the beach. I only am inside for even if I'm just sitting on the porch or I'm sitting on the beach or I'm walking up and down or I'm stepping out on the stoop to talk to someone, like I'm outside all day. For me, when I get burnt out, I tend to go to my couch. And I don't go to my couch. Like you'll never catch me watching TV. You'll never catch me like doing that unless I believe this is me. If I reach that burnout, like right now after this podcast, I'm going outside. Like I will be outside. Wintertime is tough for me. I do find that if I am going to get burnt out, it's more in the wintertime because almost like nature energizes me and I'm not outside as much. Like you guys know, I have been doing my winter walks, but the sun and the fresh air help me prevent burnout. So my walks aren't really they're for health, but my walks are really like my meditation and my stress relief. So as long as I do those, but if I reach that point and it's in the middle of August and I'm inside on my couch on the weekend, like that's weird. Like that's like my family even will be like, "Are you okay?" Like they know if mommy's on the couch and it's a summer day and it's a summer weekend, like something's up. She's either sick or something's going on. And then guys, you're not moms, and I can say this, and I'm not saying moms and dads are different. They are different, but I'm not saying one is greater than the other. But in this house, everyone in this house runs off my vibe and my energy. It's crazy. So that's why the next thing we're going to talk about is how to avoid and manage burnout. That's why I do these things so much because I know my family, even the dogs, they run on my vibe in this house. So yes,
do that.
So I really, really make sure, plus no one likes to be burned out and it's no fun and you don't get anything really accomplished, but just kind of sit there and reevaluate what you're doing. And then you have a new plan, which is a good thing, right? But I really try to avoid it. And I'm doing a good job at avoiding it because I know what to look for. That's all. It's just me having self-awareness. Andy Frisella talked about this. It's about having self-awareness, and not many people have self-awareness. They're going through their jobs in their world, just going through their job in this world. Like they don't know what they like, what they don't like, what they should do. Is this help? Like they never stop to be aware of what they need, what works for them. Very rarely, if you say, You need to experiment with this and that. Guys, 9 out of 10 times, people don't even do that. Like,
Nah.
they don't do that. Like, I want you to, drink cow's milk, goat's milk, and almond milk. Tell me which one works best for you. People aren't going to do that. Most of the time, they're not, right? So people have no idea. Like, people have no idea what foods are hurting their stomach. They have no idea, and they keep eating them because they don't want to take the time to stop to say, maybe it's that. They're just going through their day mindless. So being aware that you need self-awareness to prevent this is a game changer.
Man, I think like just jumping off of that real quick, I think that like it has become really, really important to me to know self, because I feel like two things. One, like if we don't get to know this, it's a wasted life. And also I feel like, think about like how much authenticity we're missing out on in the world, and how many like how many people we truly are missing out on because they don't know themselves. Like yeah, they're there and we know them for what they go through the world as, but they don't even really know them, so we don't truly even know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is a very extreme example, but where are the most unwritten songs, unwritten books, untalked
You already
talks?
know.
Graveyard. That's what
Graveyard.
they say. They say that is where the most things, books, songs, relationships, conversations, that is where most of them lie, because people never got them out. They never, they never thought, oh, I'm going to write this song and it's going to impact something, or, for whatever reason that it may be. So if you don't know this, you're right. It's a life wasted. Like, not everyone's going to like what you like. Not everyone's going to want to do what you do, but do it for you, because I look at it this way. If there's one person I can help, one person I can impact, that they can make a difference in their family down their generation. Ed Milet talks about this all the time. He's like, if my dad sponsored one alcoholic that made a change, their whole entire family could be changed, all the way down to their great, 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 great grandchildren, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. That's mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like a domino effect of positivity, but I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Like you don't know like what being you, who you could really help. You know what I mean? And I mean, shoot, like when you think about that, like it just makes you want to either be more of you, unfiltered, with that unfiltered authenticity, or to find out who you are. You know?
I know. It's so fun being truly who you want to be.
It's also like having that self-awareness like is important, because like if you aren't self-aware, like yes, you could be hurting you, but you could also be like hurting others as well.
Oh man,
like think about how much like negativity you could be spreading to others just because you don't realize like how you could be just so oblivious, maybe being like either like just like selfish or just like I don't know. It's like it's tough too, because like you could be authentic and that's just like who you really are. I mean, you could just be an asshole.
Yeah, just like down to the bones.
Could be an authentic asshole. Yes, I know.
Hey.
But you know what? Most people act that way because, number one, they're trying to. Okay. Think about someone that you know of, maybe you don't know them, that speaks their mind 100%. Okay. That doesn't mean they're a jerk. That means that they're realistic, they're honest, and they're being them, and they want to tell you how they feel. But at the end of the day, they still have a heart, and they still have compassion to a certain extent. But you aren't going to get compassion from a coal mine worker who worked in a coal mine for 50 years, and then you now work for a construction company and you have to dig a ditch. Like you're not gonna be like, they're not gonna be like, oh, you poor thing. They're gonna be like, no, you know what I did for so long? You could
Right.
do that one thing. And that doesn't
Yep.
make them a jerk. They have compassion for what they're doing, but at the end of the day, even if someone's an authentic a-hole, I mean, they're still gonna have a heart somewhat, right?
Right.
But I think people look for compassion in the wrong way. Like I'll use my landscaping company as an example, who have been messing up my lawn like no other. I've had to have 4 meetings with them, right? So I said to one of the managers, I said, look, okay, you're not going to get compassion from me because you are low on workers. You're not, because of what I've gone through. I said, this is what I said to him, and everyone that watches this that knows me is going to laugh. I said, you need to step up as a better leader to show your workers and train them so that they can do the best job they want to do. They're just looking for leadership. They want to make money. They have the opportunity to make double that amount of money. And I know these young guys want to learn. You need to step up as a better leader to guide them, and that is going to help your company in the long run. You need to put yourself aside and step up to help these kids.
You said that?
Oh yeah.
What did he
I
say?
was like, he
You
was
should
just
say
like,
that.
all right. He's like, you're okay. And he had another crew member with him, and the crew member was just looking at me like, man, I'm getting Tony Robbins up in here. Like, and I was like,
I
at the
love
end of the
that.
day, sir, at the end of the day, you are in charge of this crew.
You're the
Mhm.
captain.
You need to be the captain. Exactly right. I said they're looking and craving for leadership. Everybody's stressed right now. Companies are all low on workers. But you know
Yep.
what? You better make them the best damn workers that you got, because if you take
Right.
care of them, you're still going to have these same workers this time next year.
Right.
It's not
Facts.
rocket science. You just have to you just have to invest in people, which again, how do we avoid this? We give back, we lead, we help. That's one way to avoid burnout.
Yeah, right. Yeah, write that down, Scotty.
Yeah. And I would love to be a fly on the wall when this guy went back to the office with our meeting and what he said. He was probably like, what, this girl thought she was like
Miss
freaking Ed
Karen.
Milet up in here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean,
I did it in an encouraging way. I was like, man, you have an opportunity. Right now, companies are dropping because they're scared and they don't have workers. I said, this is when businesses thrive and grow, when everybody else drops out and you have the clear vision to keep going. You need to take advantage of this.
Hey, by saying that, you probably don't even, like, I'm pretty sure you do know, but like by saying that, it goes back to what we talked about before. You just impacted him, his business, his team, and so many other people's lawns, probably. They don't even know.
So I will
Right.
tell you, I got a message from my neighbor yesterday. All right. So my meeting with them was Thursday. Right before the podcast. No, we recorded on Wednesday last week. So literally the car was packed to go to the beach. Here they come. I have my meeting. Okay. Yesterday they cut the grass, and I got a text message from my neighbor that says, "What did you say to them?" Question mark. My lawn looks so dang on good, guys. I'm telling you. And then I'm outside last night, and another neighbor comes over and he goes, they edged everything. Look, did you see this? And they cut the bamboo up by the sidewalk. And I just said, you know what? Good. Yeah. He was like, this is amazing. And I was like, I didn't say anything, but I was just like, you know what? Good for them. Because here's the thing. What did I do to them? I held them accountable, and I raised, hopefully I raised their standards for themselves. Hopefully I raised their standards, because that's when you get good results, is when you raise your standards of yourself, right? And your performance.
Yep.
I'll keep you posted if it lasts.
Yeah. Keep if it doesn't burn out.
Oh God, I know, I know. So I said to him, I said, snow removal's coming quicker than we think. Let's have a meeting before snow removal. Okay.
Mm,
And I'm going to
he's-
pump them up and it'll be like, yes, this is where you really earn respect, man. You're out all night. You're plowing. Like people, just the gratitude that we will have for you and your business if you do it right is going to be off the charts.
Mhm.
man,
And then you get more business because you guys talk about it more. Like,
yeah.
Well, Scotty, one of the last things I said to him is, you need to think about what you want me to say when people ask me who does my lawn.
Dang.
Mic drop.
Yeah, straight up. Straight up.
We'll
Love
do
it.
a
Yo,
business 101 podcast later on.
yeah, I was gonna say, I was this could go there for real. That was
I
good.
love that.
That was great. Yeah, that was great for real. So if y'all watching that, if you don't get anything else other than what else you got out of this, I hope you got that.
Man.
And we got one last question that we're gonna ask, and this is, how do we think we can avoid or manage burning out, or how can we rekindle that flame that has burnt out? You know what I mean? If it needs to be rekindled. And I mean, this is a question I had to really marinate on, because I was like, dang, do I even have any answers to this question? And for me, like, it goes back to Scotty's answer to a question that was asked earlier, just about pretty much reassessing, reevaluating. I think that's a big thing, having that constant assessment of like, okay, like of I think checking in with yourself, like, how are you doing, bro? You know what I mean? Like with
Mhm.
yourself, to like to see, like, like, are you burning out again? Hold on one second. Uh-oh. Oh no. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. All right.
You're there.
Yeah, like, okay, cool. Like, are you burning out again? Like, how are you doing, man? Or just like truly like acknowledging and looking at like what's going on with you. I think that's a big one. And that still just rolls right back around to self-awareness. So I think one of the biggest things we can extract from this is to be self-aware, to use that as an indicator to avoid burning out, and then to like assess that. You know what I mean? I think another thing is, like you said, rest. Like don't be afraid to plug in the charger. You know what I mean? Or to take that time away. Because a lot of times, like even me, I got some vacation coming up soon, and it's really just
Ooh.
so that I can go see my family in California, and because I owe that to them, and it's to go put that elsewhere, but also to get some time for me. And I think that when you spend time around certain people, they can kind of help you, help recharge you. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need to be around those folks. But everyone is kind of looking like, what you mean you taking time off? And it's just like, well, hold on, man. Like, I'm a human. Like, y'all take time off, and I need that for me, and it's not anything on y'all. I need that for me so that I could even be here for y'all the way I need to be. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
so that I don't mess up, or so that somebody doesn't get injured on my watch because I wasn't there, or so that I don't rub someone the wrong way unintentionally. You know what I mean? Because I didn't intentionally do what I needed to do to not burn out. You know what I mean? And things of that nature. Uh, and I feel like, when it comes to like rekindling the flame, like how can we rekindle the flame of something? Like, I feel like we could just link this right back to exercise. Like, okay, you got burnt out, and you just stopped working out for a while. But now, like, you notice, like, oh shoot, I'm getting deconditioned, I'm gaining weight. Like, now I'm losing that part of myself. Like, how can I, like,
Yes.
how can I rekindle that flame? You know what I mean? Like, how do you think we could do that? And I mean, honestly, like, if you stopped, just start again. And I know that sounds like, okay, well, maybe it's not as simple as just starting. Maybe it is.
Gotcha.
Maybe it's not starting off where you left off at. Maybe it's starting off where you feel comfortable starting at. Maybe it's just
Mhm.
getting that momentum back in motion. You know what I mean? Maybe it's like, okay, you've been on the couch and you just haven't worked out at all. You haven't intentionally moved your body at all. Let's start walking. You know, let's hit some chest. Let's hit some chest press with weights that are definitely much lighter than the last weight you lifted. You know what I mean? Like, let's just squat with our bodies today. Like, just, in that standpoint. And I think when it comes to work, or a certain hobby, or something that you were working on, and you stopped, It really is just getting that ball rolling again. And sometimes it starts with journaling, writing down some ideas. Let's start to visualize what this would look like if I started it up again, or where I want to take where I stopped at. Where would I like to take that if I did start? Let's just start imagining. You know what I mean? There's a million things that you can do to, I think, avoid the burnout, manage the burnout, and rekindle that flame. But my biggest one will always be checking up on yourself, having that conversation with yourself to see how you're doing, and then to truly not deny yourself that rest or that time away.
All good stuff.
I'm pretty sure you just answered it all for us.
No, man, no, I didn't, dude. I answered that like with like it the expectation, and even knowing that y'all had some different answers, or a little bit more to add on to that, because I feel like there are so many other answers and methods. And Scotty, you're not that much older, man, but you might got like 2 years of extra skin in the game in the game of life than I have, or even in the game of fitness, and same with you, Ann. So
Yep, I got
it's
2
not
years
only
on you.
valuable. Yep, just two. It's not only just valuable for the listeners, it's valuable for me as well. You know what I mean? I'm always picking up what y'all putting down.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just busting your chops.
I know.
Basically, like I agree with everything you said. Self-awareness, always reassess. But like I tell people in the gym all the time, is like if you have 50, if like you're feeling like only like 50, 60%, like give 50, 60%. Like don't overgive. Like if you're feeling 100%, all right, cool, give it 100%. But if you're only feeling like 30% that day, then don't give 100%, because you do that consecutively over and over and over again, you're gonna burn yourself out
Or get injured.
it's like, yeah, exactly. So it's like, listen to your body, listen to yourself. Like, just if you know what you like, you're the only person that knows how you feel. Like if I come over and I'm like, hey, like come on, like let's step it up, and you tell me like, hey, like I'm not feeling so hot today, I'm like, all right, cool, like then no problem, stay at that pace. Like if you need to, like let me know, we can like take the weight away, or like whatever. Like it comes down to like just coaching, and just coaching yourself at that point. Like take everything that you've learned from like being coached and apply it to your life. Like know when to push, know when to back off.
Straight up.
And like you learn from your
exactly,
and you learn from it. Like you're gonna learn by reevaluating like why you got burnt out. You're gonna learn like, all right, cool, like that wasn't really smart, wasn't very smart. Like I probably should have got a couple more hours of sleep last week. Like I probably should have stayed up so late and watching that TV show, or I shouldn't have ate all that shit before I went to bed. Like,
or I probably should have said no.
Yeah. Or I should have said yes and like went like and like did something instead. Like I should have went outside instead of just sat on the couch. Like, you know what I mean? Some like it can go either way almost. Like, but you have to like listen to yourself and like learn from what got you to being burnt out in the first place.
Yeah, and I'll take a different route. I agree with everything you guys said. A lot of that's on my list too, but less phone, less social media, less expectations others put on us, more family, more friends, more fun. That's one of them for me. Another one is setting boundaries. Okay, like my phone gets turned off at this time, goes in my bag, catch in the morning. Setting boundaries for yourself. Having routines that you enjoy, routines that are refreshed often. So piggybacking on that, mixing it up, mixing up your workouts, mixing up your food, mixing up the type of movies and books you read, and mixing up where you go hiking, mixing up your vacation, like mixing it up often. So you don't get stuck on a rut where you feel that, you're stuck somewhere. You're not a tree. You can move, you can change, you're not rooted where you are. So those would be some big ones. And those are some things I do. Definitely the less phone and the set boundaries I do. I am mixing up my foods a lot more now. You guys know, God help this 44-year-old body of CrossFit. Gosh, I mean, is that considered like senior level at this point with this type of exercise? Stay tuned. The journey continues.
Protect
But
them joints.
gosh, mixing up your workouts, I've been mixing up some of my books that I'm reading. Like I do this because I know I am such a creature of habit that I will stick to the same thing and then I will burn out. So I need to always remind myself, and also too at stepping outside of my comfort zone, which is building confidence, and the cycle goes on, and then you realize that you can do hard things, right?
Mhm.
So another one is, let me see what I say. Let's say mixing up often exercise, giving back, volunteering. That's always a big one too. Definitely. But also too, reminding yourself that you have purpose. Like
Mhm.
we always read the things about like, no one's always going to be clapping for you. No one's always going to be cheering you on. And it is so true. Like you need to clap for yourself and cheer yourself on, find clarity in your purpose and these things. And sometimes it's looking back to remind yourself of the clarity of your purpose. That's why journaling and goal setting and writing it down in a specific spot is so important, because you can look back, you can reevaluate, you can take notes. Guys, like we should all be managing like our self-awareness, our goals and all, just like we do at work. If you have an office job, everything's in your computer, you have files. What if everyone did that with their health and they had
Mhm.
files? What if everyone did that with their nutrition, their exercise, spiritual, mental, books, music? Like, what if we had files and we reevaluated how we feel about something, just like you would do if you were doing like a project for work? Interesting,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, definitely.
We all
It
want to
makes
give
sense, but
yeah.
why would we do that, right? It makes too much sense.
We all want to give all of this to big companies that are making more money than us, that own the company, but yet we won't eat healthy. We won't get our sleep. We are burning the candle for sometimes CEOs that we don't even know who they are.
Whew.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom. Yes. It frustrates me when you see people who won't take the steps to be the best them, but they'll give everything they have to a big, large company that they work for that they're barely getting. They might not even have a retirement plan with that company. They might not like expect more, expect more and raise your expectation, ask for more, get more what you deserve, but also
All of
invest in
that.
yourself.
All of
Mhm.
that. All of
Yeah,
that.
All
exactly.
of
Somebody
that.
just quit their job after watching this. Somebody just quit right now. They just somebody just quit.
Message me, I'll find you a job with my
Next
People
time
try
you
to,
might be
landscaping
able to create
company
your
where you're
own.
going to change the world.
yeah, and then
One
people
line at a
just like
time.
they get stuck so much like trying to push someone else's like agenda. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's right.
Like even when it comes like
Gosh.
to politics, like politics is like such a huge one. Like you end up just getting stuck into whatever side you're on, and then you're just pushing their agenda, even though it might not be like what you're looking for. I had a guy come in today
Bingo.
and like wanted to like take a class, and he's like in real estate, and he just kept pushing that he was like Republican and that he was super conservative and like pushing. And he's like, this is like why this is like that, and like this is why this is like this over here. And I'm like, this is not a conversation I want to have at all.
Like, bro, do you
Like
want to work out or what, man?
one, you're preaching to the wrong person, like 1,000%. Like I'm not on either side, but like you pushing like that is like not helping. He was crying about like Trump getting like raided or whatever. And he's like, oh, poor guy. I was like, don't even like just stop talking. Like, thank
Just
God
hush,
I'm not
buddy.
coming in tonight to coach you. God,
This is
I
when
would
you're
not.
like, God, this is when
I'm
you're
like, all right,
like,
cool. Go see you
okay,
tonight. Bye.
right. I'm glad you came in. We have a special going on. Like, this is what we're doing now. Before we start the class, we all do 100 burpees. It's just part of the warm up.
You still want to be a part of this.
So you make
Right.
like, I want to work you so hard, you can't talk to me.
Right.
Like, can you please stop talking?
Yeah, like, you know what? And here's the thing. And this is what I experienced, and we're going to get totally off the track, but we're going to bring it back. Like, some of the people who preach about not judging are the judgiest people. Like, you don't want to be judged, don't judge the people. Like, and it can go in any platform that you're thinking about. Like,
I already know exactly what I'm thinking of.
Right. Like, do not ask not to be judged, ask to be accepted 100%, but you need to not judge and accept the other side 100%.
Right. Both ways.
Both ways.
Don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Change the subject, Prince. Change it.
Yeah.
Because we're
I'm mind blown
jumping.
for a second. Man, I'm mind blown for a second. But no, man, like I think everything we talked about was super valuable, man. And so look, I feel like this topic was just really relevant because we're human beings and we all like everyone has experienced burnout or is gonna experience it. And I mean, I just feel like, as someone who, is currently like coming out of a burnout and assessing a burnout, I felt like, hey, maybe we could pass along some tools for success for anyone who may be, watching this. You know what I mean? So hopefully that was the intention of this, and I hope that someone got something out of this and that this was helpful overall. You know what I mean? And including a good laugh too. You know what I mean? Because shoot, you got to get a good laugh out of Elevate the World podcast. We're all about smiles over here.
That's
so
right.
With that being said, look, let's talk about music. What y'all working out to this week? I'm gonna go last. All right.
Oh, okay.
Look, I took your spot, Ange. I'm going last. Whatever.
That's okay. It's okay. Scotty, what you got?
Well, I know
Stop
Prince
scrolling,
isn't
man.
on.
Trying to look it up.
No. I already know it because I've been jamming to it since it's on repeat since Monday since I left my music festival. It's "Hot in It" by Tiesto. It was a song that was on. I don't know if you saw it, Ange, but my reel I made yesterday.
I have to look.
It's legit the jam. Like literally my whole entire workout yesterday, I just played that song on repeat.
I need to.
What's the name of it?
"Hot in It" by Tiesto.
Hot in it.
Hot in it. Okay.
Okay, I'm adding it as soon as we get off this podcast.
It's legit.
Okay, cool.
It's the jam. Like,
all right. So how was the festival?
It was fun. The first day, the music was like kind of like it was like a lot of like hard house, like that kind of like house music.
Make your ears bleed.
Yeah, like headbanging, like just noise, like robots just like having sex. It was pretty rough. Like it was pretty rough. We got there like super early, and it was just like every stage had that music going on. And usually there's 3 different stages, and they all had like different like genres and like vibes. And it was just like fuck. And then Fisher ended it off really well. Chris Lake was good, and then we saw this one girl, Rez, who was fun. She was a little bit of everything. And then the second day was definitely way better vibes, way better music. We got to hop around the way we wanted to. It was a lot of fun though.
Good.
Nice.
Well, I'm jumping on the 90s coming back train. My girl Avril Lavigne is coming back. Hey. I feel like Olivia Rodrigo. Reese will scream if I don't get her name right. I feel like she was like, she's trying to like get that 90s vibe. This is what I think happened. I think Avril Lavigne was like, I'm the OG. I'm coming back with Machine Gun Kelly, with Boys Lie. Okay. Total skater boy vibes. I'm working out to it. And I'm liking this song. And I got to give Machine Gun Kelly, what? Okay. So by the side note, my brother-in-law is from California, went to school with Machine Gun Kelly. So anytime we talk about Machine Gun Kelly, he says his real name. He's like, who do you mean? And I forget what his real name is. And he's like, no, we never called him that. His name was this in school. And it's funny. But I'm liking, I've really loved Yes, what is it like, Kurt or Curtis or something? I don't
No,
even know.
no, I was just joking. I'm like,
Uh,
Kurt.
I thought it
So
was just
I
Kelly.
really like Avril Lavigne, who is old school 90s, coming together with Machine Gun Kelly, who is on the newer side of that kind of punk. And I feel like I think Olivia Rodrigo and Avril Lavigne did collaborate, which I think I saw that. I might look into that, but let's bring back Avril Lavigne. Let's bring her back.
Revive the vibe.
I'm down.
Let's revive. And she looks good. I mean, to the T, looks exactly the same. The girl has not aged. I don't even know how old she is. Now I'm going to have to like check this out. But she looks so good. She's got the clothes. She's got the look. Her voice sounds amazing. I'm bringing her back.
She looks exactly the same.
I know. And then there was like some big
Google
scam about people said she died and then she came back as an imposter. And I've heard her talk about it before. And she's like, guys, it's me. Like, come on. It's pretty funny.
Talk about like, yeah, people hating her, just weird. Like, why would you say that about someone? Like, imagine those kind of rumors. You know what I mean?
Like, random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks like she's like still 18.
I know.
Got to figure out what she's sipping on.
Right. You know what she's sipping on? She is 100% confident with what she wants and who she is. That's what I'm putting money on.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. That's the youth juice right there.
Yep.
Sure. So I gotta pull one from Scotty's, one of Scotty's artists that he's recommended before, but it's a song called "Define" by Dom Dollar and Go.
Let's go! I just saw him too.
Yeah, man, that song is fire. Like when the way the beat drops, the bass drops. Yeah.
Okay, I'm adding that also.
Just saw him. We saw him on Sunday. We saw him, and then we saw Tiesto right after.
Oh yeah, he's good too. They're good too. Yeah, that was a good festival, man. I have not gotten into any shenanigans lately, but I got to tap in.
That was a good time.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, check it out, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We feel like we gave y'all what we felt are some tools for success for burning out. And if you got anything else that you want to share, any suggestions, any advice on burning out, please drop it in the comment section. You know what I mean? Please drop it in the comment section. You might have something that may help someone that we didn't put out there. So, drop that. You might have something that helps us. Outside of that, please like, share, subscribe, you know what I mean? All that good stuff. If you do like, and then, drop some comments on what you want to hear next from us. All right. That being said, Elevate the World podcast. We out. Peace.
See ya.